Morris from Mycelia and Foods Limited, welcoming you to the first ever mushroom stakeholders in the country meeting. We're meeting today at Kiambu County. Garden Mushroom is the venue we are today, and we are here to deliberate as the stakeholders in the mushroom industry in Kenya, and we are hoping to have everyone in the industry come today, and so that we can deliberate on the challenges we are facing as an industry, and you see how we are going to foster forward, stronger, united, so that we can grow our industry. Welcome to this meeting, and look out for the next one, because we are going to have consecutive ones later in 2023. We are going to be calling our people, come if you have interest in mushroom, if you're a mushroom grower, check this out, and please follow us on Instagram, Mycelia_foods, and Twitter, mushroom_GAK. And we are calling everyone, just come, we deliberate, we get solutions to the challenges, and we foster forward together. Thank you and welcome.
There should be a standard mark of the infrastructure that one should be producing on, not just anything to produce mushroom. So a standard infrastructure that can support a certain quality of produce. It has also come up as horse manure instead of chicken manure could come up added, but unfortunately again we're also realizing the horses are not many in this country. We don't know how we can squeeze them to give us that cake. Of course, another solution that is also coming on elements of production is technology and automation. This one we have to take it seriously, and customized equipment, even in small scale. One of the things that we realize, and we are getting it from members in the team, is we can customize some of the infrastructure, even in the climate controls that are available, and which can be highly, readily accessed by members. Of course, value addition. We've said we are all producing and meeting at the market, even among us ourselves competing, while some can also do value addition. Then again, with planned production throughout the year, instead of just doing one planting, finding yourself with 100 boxes and you cannot do it. So staggered production. We are also thinking if we can do mass market and the outgrow elements, then we can face banks as a group, probably borrowing from the entity that owns the farmers, because again it's in small scale. Of course, we are talking about, again, when we come together we do common promotions, and this one is being pushed. We can do advertisement promotions, we can do common branding, like in the mass market, where we've seen this work very well with dairy, where you are finding neighbors selling neighbors milk, but it is not their milk. So probably out of our aggregation, also selling mushroom with quick mat, but it is not quick mat's mushroom. So research again, we streamline the element with like sort of certify who will, no, that is in consultants. We certify who is to consult. Otherwise we try to eliminate work consultants, because when people realize there's money in this value chain, they will get with all sorts of consultancy and expressions and all that, and it can go wrong. Of course, develop varieties, bring out the varieties that are seen to be, and that now is on research. The research challenges that we are getting, we bring out the varieties that we think are working in our market, spread them to the community of members who are doing this.
I picked a crop that fitted my environment and ran with it. So someone else, maybe Collins, picks a crop that he's very familiar with and he will enhance and make his environment fit that crop. So both of those have got positives and negatives. Get the right facilities for the strain that you have picked. Get the right grow environment for the strain that you have picked. Research on the grow processes, so the crop production, what suits the different type of mushrooms that you have targeted to grow. Dealing with post-harvest handling, so that's refrigeration, chillers, packaging, etc. Use of technology, how do you incorporate technology into your processes? Do you use AC to cool your rooms? Do you use timers to set your humidification systems? Such things. Regenerate the good performing crop. So you have this crop that's done really, really well and you want to get that same crop again. Use that spot, regenerate that, because again, what you use, when you flex it a lot, it gets stronger and it becomes resistant to the pests, it becomes resistant to mediocre changes in temperature and humidity or other environmental conditions. Track the processes from start to finish. So you will have to track where you sourced your straw, where you sourced your chicken manure, what temperatures you are running when you are composting. You track everything so that if something changes, you know how that crop performed. So I think I'm personally struggling with that. I feel like I skip documenting a few things and I can't quite remember exactly what I did here, because no, this crop has done really well. I'm like, Sasa hapa, what did I do? So it becomes winging it, and like at what point, at which date did I do this turn? I did one extra turn here. It's very tricky when you're not quite sure what you did, and especially for a small grower who probably I depend on my guy who does most of the heavy lifting. So like now I'm here, there's work going on there. Sit at talk up and so if something is skipped, it's skipped. So the mushroom might be a bit forgiving, but then it has its limits also as to how many things you can let slide.
We growers, we lack ideas on a value addition. I produce mushroom, I have nowhere to go and sell them. What are you going to do? Throw them, eh? Somebody shared with us that there's a time that they had a lot of mushroom. They could not sell them. They cooked all of them and they sold ready cooked mushroom. Was it cooked mushroom? Yeah, that's another market, because we only thinking about me. I want to grow. I want to take it to the market, and my game ends there. So we need to come up with creative ways on how to add value. I was sharing a story. I opened a soup shop in one of the market. I'll not mention it. I could not sustain that business because of lack of farmers who are doing oyster. Who does oyster here? How is your farming? Is it consistent or is it not consistency? So that's number one challenge that I used to have. So I had to take a step back, produce oyster myself, for me to go back to the market.
We were just looking on ways in which we can be able to increase the availability of that button spawn in the market. We realized that we have a lot of gap. We have a gap in that research when it comes to button mushrooms. What most people start and then they don't continue with that production. When you go get button spawn from spawn producers, you find that you'll get one time and then after a few returns, there is no more button producer. So we have to rely on buttons from Rwanda, right? From Holland, and then the other one from Sylvan from South Africa. So that is becoming a challenge for people who want to do button production. Another thing that we are looking at is the product availability. We have our Naivas correspondent in our table. One of the things that she was talking about is they have a high demand but low production. Today you produce a crop, it does well. Next time, it does poorly. What are these factors that we are looking at? And the only way we can realize what the issues are is if we check and if we standardize our production process. Starting from the spawns, how do we make these spawns? Which spawns do we sell? All the way to how do we package our products? Because we find people here have built different grow houses with different mediums, with different lighting conditions, different aeration conditions. You find everybody has a challenge with carbon dioxide, you have a challenge with light. I've ever gone into a production room and I couldn't breathe inside. There was no circulation of air. So these are the kind of things we're looking at. And this I'll address to our trainers and consultants. When a farmer approaches you, how do you tell them? What do you tell them? We need to have a standard. If you're producing 10 kilos, if you're producing 20 kilos, this is the kind of structure you need to build. This is the size of structure you need to build. This is the kind of, this amount of spawn you need to buy. We need to have a standard for that.
By bringing spawn, a stock of spawn here in Nairobi, it's a starting point. I can't imagine that everyone can import spawn from South Africa. It's a very big issue. Yeah. So by putting a store here, it's already a partnership, and we can share knowledges, and yeah, if you have questions, you can ask. I can explain how we deal with it, and you can find a solution which can be good for you, because we don't have the same process. That is the main challenge. Yeah, we don't have the same process, but we can try to mix it and find a solution.
I just take the forest soil, I mix it with cocoa peat, just weigh it, and then expect a miracle. No, there's a lot. When you do the kissing, when you apply the management from day one to the end, so many farmers are making mistakes when it comes to kissing management. It is very important. You do a very good compost. It has run very well. Then you don't manage your kissing. You are going to lose production.
So consistency is key, branding is key, cleanliness is key, packaging is key. That is where we draw the line. How have you packed your product? Is it neatly done, right? Is it labeled? Has the foil covered the whole packet of it? Because these are perishable product, and when you just expose it to the air for like 30 minutes, it starts turning. So you need to bring to me something that is well covered, well labeled, so that when I put it in the shelves, and somebody was saying that there are no mushrooms on the shelves. When you get in, maybe in the morning you came, you found, then in the afternoon you think, let me go back and get the mushroom, then you find none. Why? Because the product was well done. Same to us, leave alone the mushroom. You're going to buy maybe a sweater or something. Will you take a torn one, the one that doesn't have a zip? Will you? That's the same thing with our product.
I see all of us here, if it is not everyone, but we are all youthful. But if you are under 35 years, this is where you need to be. Farming, production of mushrooms can be a lucrative, and it can give you a livelihood. And Wangari can attest to me. There's a lot of things you can do, not just production. You can do sales, you can do training. There's a lot. There's a whole value chain in mushroom production. And there are institutions. We had invited one. Unfortunately, they were not able to come. KCIC. They are putting across calls for application. Send application as a youth. There's an opportunity for you to get funding. All right? We struggle a lot with funding as youth. When we are producing mushrooms or any other type of venture that we are starting. But there are institutions that are ready to work with us as the youth. If you want a connection on how to gain this access, you can talk to me directly, or you can talk to Wangari Kuria, and we can guide you on how to apply for these chances. There's a lot also that Collins has been sending to the group, and we have been applying for that. And someone talked about value addition of mushrooms. As Mycelia and Foods, we have been able to come up with new products. We are doing dried mushrooms, we are doing mushroom powder, and we are doing mushroom cookies. That is under the support of KCIC, because we went through the application and we were awarded a grant that has helped us to do that. So as youth, I'm saying again, there are opportunities. Let us not lose hope. Let us not close shop. There is hope for us as youth and as entrepreneurs. I want to also mention something else. Why are we in business? Why are we in mushroom production? Maybe for the love of mushrooms, yes. I love eating mushrooms. But why are we in it? We're in it to make money, right?
I want to domicile mushroom financing in the bank, so that if someone, and I'm saying this because there is a camera, so that I can be put into task. That guy told us, is in, when you go to Kitale branch, they can tell you, yes, it's true, we do mushroom financing. Because again, until banks accept, and call a product by its name, it will not be financed.
Sure.
So I want us, by the end of it all, and getting all these things right, we domicile mushroom financing into the bank. I would want to come up, in fact, I'm already looking at it as it's a climate smart, sustainable
Definitely.
financing. And I've got a department that is supporting me to do that. And it's a serious issue of monitoring whether we are doing it right.
So we have done a few pilots on how to convert organic from waste to something useful. And useful is, for instance, very simple, is composting. And we have done a couple of projects prior to this. One was with coffee. We've done a pilot with 7,000 farmers in Kibicho. We have seen the yield has significantly improved by giving organic inputs, both compost but also liquid. And that is all from waste that is being done now. And the yields from the best performing farmer, to give you an idea, in average they were producing about 2.5 kgs per tree. Now the best performing farmer did about 15 kgs per tree. So that is a significant increase. The average and at the cooperative level, coffee farming is a bit better organized because it's an old industry. It's organized through cooperatives, so it was easy to distribute everything. On average, the farmer did about 12 kgs. Even though you want better prices, that shouldn't withhold you from producing even more and better quality, because clients always will push for better quality, and higher yields will make your business more profitable. So we are now trying also to look into mushroom farming, and this is where Maurice has really drawn me in. And we do actually a small pilot on his farm to see like what the results will be from organic compost. So we're also working with different universities from abroad. Have sent their professors to check everything, what is needed. And if we work on a large scale, if we have, let's say, at least, because our main phase number one is to have at least a production of 10 tons every day. So that is a minimum, but we can go all the way up to more. If you produce at scale, then everything becomes cheaper. Your farm inputs become cheaper. So I'll give you the example of the coffee farmers. They have reduced the farm inputs with 75%. So imagine, I don't know the details with mushrooms because it's a very unique product, but if it can at least reduce or standardize and make the process easier, that you can immediately start and produce, I think that could be a very big value add, and especially I've heard it a couple of times that it has been a lot of issues with supply and all that. Another thing that we have done was with beans farming, because I'm also involved in exports. For export crops, and one of the main export crops is avocados and French beans. We've done a few pilots on that. We have seen that an increase of yield for the French beans has been more than 30%, 30% higher water retention, so less water cost. But more importantly, again, the reduction is by half, just by doing organic compost, and that is locally produced, because Kenya faces a lot of problems with exporting. Anyone who is an exporter probably knows that. Products keeps on getting banned and banned and banned because there's over excess of chemical use.
My name is Wangari Kuria, or the Farmer on Fire, and I am a mushroom farmer as well, based in Kitengela. So today I was honored to be invited and to attend the Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya, where they were holding a stakeholders meeting to discuss some of the challenges, some of the opportunities that are available to scale our mushroom journey and entrepreneurship journey. It has been such an amazing event. I think this has been my highlight of the year, because for sure I have learned a lot. I've been inspired. I'm burning in fire, inspired to do more. I want to scale. I want to be more professional. I want to go for that bag of money in a more professional way.
My name is Robin Marcel. I'm a button mushroom farmer. About 2 years in. I was at the Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya Stakeholders Workshop here in Githunguri, and it's been a fantastic session. We've learned a lot, gotten to network. Since you normally do it over social media, it's been good to just put faces and names to people. It's been encouraging in the sense of what problems I've gone through are not unique to me. So there's a bit of encouragement there that someone went through it and they moved past it and they're doing well. Then also sharing what's worked for them, what didn't work. So a lot of knowledge being shared. I can say there's a lot to take home from this event.
We're a sister company to Kigali Farms. It's a farm in Rwanda. We do mushrooms, button mushrooms, cremini, portobellos, and oysters, and sometimes shiitake. Today I was at Garden Mushrooms Farm. They had a mushroom event. I'm so happy. The turnout was amazing. The service was amazing. We go to network. We need to do more of this. That's just the beginning of big things. We're going to grow together, and we really appreciate the invite, and we hope to be here back soon.
My name is Collins Mutai. I'm a researcher. I'm a research officer working for one of the international research institutions, and I'm also a farmer, so I grow mushrooms as well.
What type of mushrooms do you grow?
So for now, I'm a bit, based on the work I do tend to experiment a lot with many varieties, but I grow about 5 of them. Oysters, I do some shiitake, a bit of piopino, lion's mane, and then the rest is just for experimental purposes. Today I came to join other mushroom stakeholders, farmers and anyone involved in that value chain in Kithiga, in Kiambu County, at Garden Mushroom Farms. So basically it's a get-together to share ideas and also share information and have a feel of what the industry or where the industry is headed. For me, it's basically networking. We tend to interact a lot on the WhatsApp group with the other farmers, so to put faces to those names and maybe also to ask questions and get to know each other. So it's networking. That's the best thing.
Were your expectations met when you came to the event?
I would say more than met. So like I said, I came with an open mind. It's basically to interact, and I think we've shared information. We've met different stakeholders. They have given us their feedback, and from that at least we know where the industry is headed, we know where we are, and we know what we need to do to reach where we want to go. I think this end of year one is the best. You can culminate all the year's activities in such a forum, but then in between the year, there's no harm in having smaller activities in between. So we can agree on what each will have as a theme, and then just spread them, and then finish up with an end of year.
I'm Emilio Ghetto. You are able to learn more about networking, more about financial support systems. We were able to network with other farmers and supporters, so we were able to move forward with the business.
Hi, I'm Teresia Mungai. I'm a mushroom farmer. And today I'm attending a Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya first meeting for this year at Garden Mushrooms in Kiambu County. The fact that as mushroom farmers, we have other stakeholders and we have to work together towards achieving everyone being happy in the system at the end of the day. And the fact that Mushroom Growers Association is going forward and we have a plan, we have a work plan, which is very important.
So my name is Nando. I am here in Kenya doing farming, and export, and also work with a foundation called Fairchain, where we process and export coffee. What stood out is that there is actually a very big ecosystem, but highly segregated, meaning everybody does their own things in their own learning curve. Some have been very successful, some are really early in the business and starting, and that makes it a very interesting dynamic. Especially considering that the market is very big and the demand for mushrooms is very high, and we still have to import a lot of mushrooms. So I think if you empower local farmers, then you may be able to consume your own mushrooms from Kenya. I think it would really help if we start formalizing the whole mushroom value chain, because it's quite a complicated value chain, but highly lucrative and very interesting. And you need so many stakeholders to work together, and if you work all separately, then the expenditures become too much, the risks become too much. But if you work together, you have one quality, one mushroom, one let's say fertilizers we have talked about today, which is one of the main expenditures in mushroom farming, then it becomes way more achievable for farmers to do successful mushroom farming.
Okay, my name is Moses Mgak. I'm a Baton mushroom farmer based in Gatondo North, and I'm happy to be here. It was quite an interesting discussion. It was so nice to know that there are so many like-minded farmers, especially young farmers, and to see that interest in mushroom farming was quite mind-blowing. It was quite a nice event. I'm glad that the MGK, Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya, organized this, and it's an honor to be a member of such a community, and I hope that going forward, watching it grow, it's going to be epic, and we can make our mark in the agriculture sector in Kenya.
My name is Anthony Gidai. I work for Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya, and I'm the founder of one of the founders of Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya. So we started it was founded in 2017, and we first registered as a Mushroom Growers Association of Kenya on Facebook. And today we have over 17,000 members. We also have 250 members who are in our WhatsApp group. And we started this association to achieve several objectives. One of them was to bring mushroom farmers closer together, and because they used to operate as a scattered community, and everybody planting his mushrooms on his own. But now, once we founded the group, we were able to bring the farmers closer together, and they used to network, share their challenges, and also share their successes. So another major objective we want to achieve as an organization is to promote the mushroom industry in Kenya. And we want to do this by helping them, training the farmers on how to improve their skills in mushroom production, and also we also want to help them in marketing their produce and be able to help them, their mushrooms to reach to supermarkets, groceries, hotels and restaurants, and even schools and hospitals. And then the other thing we will want to achieve is to increase the consumption of mushrooms to the population. We find the mushrooms are not very popular, but now we want to help them increase the consumption of mushrooms in Kenya. Thank you very much.